Hey folks, welcome back to Everyman Prepping. And as you can tell from the footage playing behind me that I wanted to roll while we talk here, there is a missing F-35 fighter jet. The pilot just decided adios after a mishap and ejected, and the plane, it's a stealth bomber, stealth fighter, it's gone. They can't find it, and the government would like mine and your help to try to find this thing. This is kind of a hilarious, but not hilarious event that's happening. I'd like to give my opinions on it, so we're going to go through a couple quick articles. Then some thoughts I had to put down on paper of what could have happened, may have happened, who knows. But this is a crazy time we're in, and yes, a fighter jet the government can't track down is gone and missing, and maybe on autopilot over who knows where. But let's get started on this, and as we do, please like, comment, share on the video, and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you here in the community. So this is just the newest article that just came out. We can check out here really quick is that the Marines, after losing their F-35 jet from a mishap, they decided to have a 2-day stand down. Now, being prior military, you usually have a stand down when there's a safety issue, a training issue that caused major loss of, equipment. In this case, a very expensive stealth fighter, top of the line, best in the world, they say, right? Or there's a safety death or something like that. So the Marine Corps Commandant, he said there's going to be a 2-day stand down taking place this week. And as it says here, that no units are allowed to fly until they have a 2-day discussion about safety measures and procedures. The Commandant said in a service-wide email on Monday. So we're going to have a little stand down, a little retraining, because I'm taking it you're not supposed to just adios out of the cockpit and leave your fighter jet on autopilot. So here we go from Zero Hedge, and they asked the question that everybody's been asking is, how do you lose an F-35? How do you lose that? And as we see here, we see this is Flight Radar. They're tracking U.S. planes, trying to search for this thing. They're going all over South Carolina trying to search for this because they can't find it. They have no idea where it's going. And then, from the rep, Nancy May says, how the heck do you lose a F-35 fighter jet? Isn't there a tracking device on these? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas on that, some thoughts on that. But we got Joint Base Charleston, where this thing was based, came out on Twitter asking for our help. We're working with MCA, Buford, who cares what they're working with, to locate an F-35 that was involved in a mishap. Now, they won't tell us what this mishap is. We're going to talk about, did the pilot just go crazy? Did he accidentally hit the eject? Was he screwing around, watching a little TikTok while he's in the cockpit? Who knows? Anyway, the pilot ejected safely, and they found him, her, we don't know who it is at this point, took him to a hospital. We don't know, we have no name, nothing. It says, if you have any information that may help our recovery teams locate this F-35, please call this number because we're in deep doo-doo. So that's the two articles I have for us in this. Now I want to get into some ideas. So the first thing that could happen, we're going to go through a couple scenarios, is, yes, they lost it. So the pilot turned off the transponder. There's a transponder on all planes, so you can, track them as they go, and, on radar, and they see where they are. And of course, fighter jets have a way of turning that off because when you're doing an attack mission, you don't want the enemy to track you, so it makes total sense you can turn it off. But is there no way to turn it back on? Can it remotely be turned back on by, ground control, by the Marines when this happens? Once it's off, is it off? Do we have no way of tracking this thing? Besides that, I know it's a stealth bomber or stealth fighter, and it's supposed to be avoid radar, but you would think the government would have found a way to track it. Themselves. I have no knowledge of that, but you think that would have been something built into it. I know the devil's advocate of that is, well, if there is another way to track it, the enemy can find a way to do it. Well, stop them from finding a way, or re-engineer it, or have some kind of, communications back and forth to air control, Marine air control, Navy air control, where it has to be decoded and it changes daily or hourly. I don't know. Figure it out. We got trillions of dollars. Figure that out. And what is this mishap that happened? Like I said, was it the pilot screwing around? Did it? Ejected on an accident? Was it something done on purpose? Was this pilot, did he have a grudge? Did he have a bad day? Fought with his wife or girlfriend? Decided just to, I'm gonna just send this plane off into the yonder big open sky, and I'm gonna bail out of this thing. So he went up there, set the autopilot, hit that eject, and now that plane was set to go somewhere strange. Talking on with that, when you set the autopilot, is there no way for ground control to know where the autopilot is set for? Does it not communicate? Does it not tell where it's going? Can the pilot set it for anywhere and nobody knows but the pilot? Seems odd. Seems like there should be a way of knowing. Maybe there is. Like I said, I don't know much about the plane. Wasn't in the Air Force, but it seems like that should be something that is communicated back and forth where it's going. Can we turn the autopilot off maybe remotely? Or, is there too much control given to these pilots? I don't know. Let's see what else I have there. We talked about the transponder went off, and you turn it off. Well, is there a way to turn it on? Should there be remotely be able to turn it on? Maybe if the pilot ejects, transporter automatically comes on after so much time. Even if you're on a combat mission and you ejected, obviously the enemy knows you're there because they just shot you down or something. So they kind of know you're there already. So flipping that transponder on really quick to help recovery of these things so they don't fall in enemy hands would probably be a good thing. So I think there's something you can do to track it. I find it very odd that they can't find it. So we talked about the pilot. Like I said, these pilots, what was this mishap? These pilots go through millions of dollars worth of training. They're vetted, they're background checked, psychologically checked. They're the top guns or the ace fighter pilots. They're supposed to be stable, in control, smart, intelligent, all that stuff. Well, what happened to this pilot? Did they lose it? Did something happen up there? I don't know if it's a single pilot or a dual pilot. They say just a single pilot. They just said one, not two. So I'm thinking there's just one. I don't know what happened to this person. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. So we have instances. Pilot just went crazy and ejected, and they can't find it because he's set on autopilot and it's going somewhere. B is they can track it and they do know where it is. They don't want to tell us where it is because it's such an embarrassment. They don't want to say what happened to it. The third option I'm having here is, did this pilot might be out there, give this to another country or nation? Was it a spy type thing? You know how the space shuttle piggybacked on top of like a 747, they carried it off? Well, did this pilot fly this thing, land on another aircraft? I don't know if that's possible or something. And it lands on another aircraft, gets latched. Pilot ejects off. That other plane takes the F-35 somewhere, whether it be an enemy country, third-party country. I don't know. Was it hijacked basically that way? Was it stolen? It's one of my possibilities that came with, because that could happen. Why not? I've seen stranger things, right? Lastly, did the U.S. government set this up as a false flag type event? They have tracked it. It was all planned. The pilot ejects out safely. They know where it's going. The plane actually remote controlled down somewhere. It's landed. It's safe somewhere. But this plane's going to be used in the future for a false flag event. We've got Japan, Korea, Israel, Australia. They all have, most of Europe, they all have F-35s. So you paint this thing up as one of those countries and, create a false flag attack on something to start, a war or to, cause issues with another country. I don't know. I don't believe that they don't know where it is. I really don't. I don't believe they lost it. So, because in this day and age, with people having cameras everywhere, the regular American people, they spotted the Chinese air balloon and they had to find it. You tell me that nobody saw this? Meteors zoom across the sky and there's, 1,000 people that have footage of it. When fighter jets are flying by, everybody loves to film them, look at them, especially if it's low, cruising. I don't care if it's in the ocean, there's boats out there. Somebody saw this if that's what happened. People have cameras everywhere. The fact that there's no footage, no cameras, nothing, and the government's asking for the people to help find it, makes me think that that's not a possibility, because there would be footage. There's video of everything these days. So I think if it was lost flying on autopilot, and it crashed somewhere, there would be video or something of it. That's my least possible, instance. The other one is, stolen, hijacked, or the U.S. government has it and they're just doing this because it's going to be used in a future event. So that's what I have for you on this. Please write in the comments below. What do you think happened? Who do you think's behind it? Was it just a pilot gone crazy, false flag prepping, or just total ineptitude? The pilot left and we really can't find it. We can't track our own planes. We don't know where it is. And the U.S. Marines, Navies are that inept. Could be a possibility. So, put it down below what you guys think, because this is definitely one for the craziness. That's for sure. So until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.